What a year in gaming it has been. From the rise of the Nintendo DS to the fall of E3. This is really a year to remember for the video game world. But what were the highs and what were the low points of this entire year? The gaming experts are here. The opinions are ready to fly, so no pushing or shoving. Just take a number. Pre-order it if you have to. It's The Loop. Joining us tonight from Los Angeles, G4 gaming expert Jeff Keighley is here, and from San Francisco, executive editor for Electronic Gaming Monthly, Shane Bettenhausen. Gentlemen, welcome to The Loop. I'm excited to get into this one because I think a lot happened in this year for gamers and non-gamers alike. And Shane, I'd like to start with you talking about the Electronic Entertainment Expo. I mean, E3 every year gets bigger and better. It's louder. You got the noises, the booth babes, the video games, big screens. This year, people were saying it was the biggest yet. So how could it go away? How can a convention go away when it just seems to get bigger and better?
It actually got too big. It was unusable. It was tons of fanboys, thousands of games, crowds. You couldn't play anything. It'd been like E3, I'd go and play 2 games. I'm glad it's changing. The smaller, gentler E3 is the way to go.
So you're happy to see it go?
Totally. Good riddance.
Wow. Keighley, do you feel the same? I mean, how will E3's cancellation affect us in 07? The E3 as we know it.
First of all, everyone keeps talking about how E3's been canceled. It hasn't really been canceled. I mean, there's still going to be this E3 Media Festival in July. There's going to be this sort of public E3 later on in the fall. Yeah, I think Shane's right that it sort of got a little too big. It was crazy because you go to E3 and it would be 3 days to see like 1,000 games. You had no time to see all the games. So I think what we're going to see now is instead of this one big gaming feast, there'll still be this sort of scaled down E3, but we'll see other sort of smaller events throughout the year. Sure. And I can't imagine that Microsoft's going to wait until July to show us Halo 3. So I imagine there'll be some special event for Halo 3 earlier in the year.
But won't you miss at least the internet hype, the pomp and circumstance that happened even a few weeks before E3?
I think there'll be some of that because I think we're still going to have, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo do press conferences in July. So people are going to get hyped up about that stuff. Yeah, you're not going to have that big shot on G4 Live of 50,000 people in a convention center. But that was really...
Actually, we're going to run in B-roll from years past, so it'll still look like the convention center's packed, even though we're at a Holiday Inn or a Renaissance down the street.
This year they covered up the booth babes, so it wasn't as fun anyway. Why have it if you can't look at the booth babes anymore?
This is true. This is true. All right, now aside from this next-gen war that happens at the end of this year, everybody's talking about PS3 versus Wii, they seem to ignore the handheld wars that have been going on. But I don't know if you can really call it a war at this point. I mean, Shane, we saw dominate with their DS. I mean, is the PSP history, was 06 sort of the end of Sony's run?
Dude, the war is pretty much over. At this point, DS is like 4 times as many units worldwide as PSP. So although PSP is still around, it's not looking good for it.
I don't disagree,
UMD
Shane.
is obsolete.
PSP is, November, it sold, I think, north of 600,000 units. I mean, DS did 900,000. So I think you're absolutely right. I mean, worldwide, like the DS has just obliterated the PSP in Japan. In America, it's a little, it's a little tighter. I think absolutely the DS still, I'm amazed at the lifespan of the DS. I mean, when it first came out, I was expecting it to. Nintendo's proven that they've done a lot of good games.
But Jeff, surely you must have been shocked and amazed and blown away that a media format like the Universal Media Disc, UMDs, come on. Movie studios haven't exactly rallied behind it. Consumers they're not flying off shelves.
Well, actually, movie studios rallied behind UMD too much because I think there was a flood of too many movies for UMD, and you see all these silly like Bridges of Madison County on UMD, which is totally like the wrong movie to put on PSP UMD. So yeah, I think Sony's probably going to refresh the PSP next year. I think we'll probably see like a hard drive or flash-based version of the PSP. So it's not over, and I actually think there's a lot of cool stuff now with PS3 and PSP interactivity that we've only just started to see.
All right, Shane, let's go to the Xbox factor here. I mean, you could say the 360 had a bit of a rough start. Do you think they finished off well? Was 06 a good year for Microsoft?
Well, Gears of War made a big difference for them. It's an exclusive game that's really good. The problem with most of the other games, they're not really exclusive. So you're seeing the same games coming out for PS3. So because of that, it's been a little slow in taking off, I think. They need more exclusives. And 2007 will have that. But right now, there's still not that many games that are only on Xbox 360.
Right. What about the microtransactions, though, Jeff? I mean, is 2006 the year of the microtransaction?
Well, it started. I mean, there was a lot of backlash, as all of us have talked about, with the idea of like buying money for the Godfather world and kind of silly microtransactions. I think what will be interesting is once we see like Gears of War content coming out, and we next year I think is when the big games, like when you have Grand Theft Auto episodic content, that's when people are really going to spend money on a major scale, and we haven't seen that yet. So I think next year is probably when we're going to see it on a higher level.
Do you think we'll see will we see horse armor in Grand Theft Auto, though? Because that's all I'm really waiting on at this point, Jeff. All right, final question to you, Shane. We got Halo 3 coming next year. Everybody's excited for it. Is it going to kill the PlayStation 3? Is it all Microsoft needs for all of 07?
I mean, it's their biggest weapon, but it's not going to kill the PS3 because it only appeals to people who've played Halo, and those are Xbox fans. I think they need to reach beyond their base and make some new kinds of games to bring in new kinds of games.
Viva Pinata, right?
Yeah. No, but that game's it's a big flop because they tried too hard to make a kiddie game. So they need to try some different stuff with more different things that might work.
Jeff, what do you think? Does Microsoft need more than Halo 3 real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, but they've got Gears of War, they've got Mass Effect, which people are looking forward to. So I think next year they're going to have some good games, but we'll see. I mean, PS3's got Killzone and Metal Gear Solid 4, so it's going to be a battle.
All right. Hopefully it's not a pre-rendered battle. Thank you guys for joining us and keeping us in the loop. That's Jeff and Shane. Look, 2006 has been full of new consoles and great games, but was also plagued by, well, the death of E3 as we know it, console shortages, and system poaching eBay power sellers. So here's to gaming in 2007 and hoping that we'll still get our booth babes, some reliable hardware, and maybe a copy of Halo 3 without having to take shrapnel to the chest. Things that make you go, yeah.
Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7, only on G4.